Hey, good morning. Welcome to the 5 a.m. Mester Scrum Show. We're here again another morning. And I didn't do the show last night. I was exhausted. I'll be honest, I was totally exhausted. Baseball, softball, both of it, walking back and forth, lasted until about 8 o'clock last night, and I was done. Anyway, that's my story. I'm sticking to it. Today I want to talk about, I had a great, interesting conversation reflecting on what working with a couple people. Scrum does an awesome job of exposing the bad habits, the habits that have been in a business for any team, whether it be IT or otherwise, and where you're at. And I want to talk about how it exposes that. And then it's never perfect. All those consultants out there, all those people that want to do this, I'm not going to hear what I'm about to say. There's never a perfect time to implement Scrum. There's never a perfect time to implement Agile. Actually, there is a perfect time. It's now. It's make the decision that you need to look at what's going on. If you're missing deadlines, missing deliveries, things aren't going the way you want. If they are doing great, don't change a thing. I'm seriously, I don't think you should. I'm happy to help you figure that out. But yeah, no, don't. But if you aren't making those things, then now's the perfect time to look at Scrum and Agile and how you might implement it. But you got to implement it right, or it's just going to make it worse. Anyway, it's 5 a.m. Mester Scrum Show. We're going to talk about that today. We talk about practical and tactical tips so you can deliver value to your customer, not wasting their time or your time, and have a little fun along the way. So yesterday, we're going through this process, looking at the backlog, going through the pains. It takes pains to transform the way you are thinking, the way you're acting, and the way you're handling your work. And Scrum exposes this. It creates boundaries that if your stuff doesn't fit, it overflows and it gets stressful. But by putting these boundaries on it, really tells you how much stuff you're going. And one of the conversations that triggered it, and I'll just give you an example, their backlog, we're transitioning. They had their original backlog, what was there, what was being done. And we're capturing all the stuff they're doing. I mean, they're up to 200 issues in a sprint. It's a 3-week sprint. And I'm like, I said, this is not manageable. I actually out told them, I said, what we have here is not manageable. It's hard to manage 200 things in a time box for anybody. It's just not, and they're all like, oh, this is just the way it is. No, this is the way it is. This is exposing how you're trying to manage your product line, what you're doing, and why you're missing deadlines. You got 200 things in flux at the same time, and there's no congruity on what those 200 things are. They may be how they manage stuff, how they break work down, all those little techniques that go into it, which I'm helping them out, makes it 200 things. Is it really 200 things? Maybe not. There's a lot of small stuff that doesn't need to be on there. It's causing clutter, confusion, and delay, right? It's like the Thomas the Train Engine, causing confusion and delay. So when is the perfect time? What Scrum does exposes life in general, the problems with how you as a developer, a team member, run your life in that world. And it's painful at times. It's not. And what really got me, somebody said something, well, it's not perfect right now, but it will be perfect in the future when we have this stuff laid in right and we have the perfect opportunity. When does perfection ever come? I'm going to argue it never does. The perfect time never happens. The perfect project, the perfect thing, it is what it is. It's like a cookie cutter. Boom. And you get all that extra dough on the outside of the cookie cutter. That's Scrum, right? That's how Scrum is set up to tell you got lots of extra stuff overflowing the outside of the cookie cutter edge, which is the time box. Could I help them split the work in 2 teams? Yeah. But now I still have a product owner that manages 200 plus items. Whether or not I split the 2 teams in half, yes, then the 2 teams have different things, but the one person still has to manage 200 items in the overall backlog for the one sprint. Not talking about the rest of the backlog, just the one sprint. And how much of that stuff's going to flow over. We'll get there. But there is no perfect time. But this is where a lot of consultants come in and say, oh, this is the perfect solution for what you do. But I'm going to tell you as a consultant, the way I operate, this is going to expose why you're not meeting your deadlines. It's going to expose why. And then the habits in Scrum and Agile will help weed that out and narrow it in so you can meet your promises, so you can build that trust relationship back up with the rest of the organization, right? Deliveries, promise to the customer, revenue for the company. And this is where I just wanted to share that with you, because so many times people say, oh, this is the perfect thing. It depends on what's going on, what things really help different teams. But Scrum will expose that. Like I said, their list is getting bigger and bigger. There's, as one person would call, derailments, a lot of derailments. And the goal is to minimize those derailments so you can focus on getting that stuff delivered that you promised to your customer, right? So I just wanted to share that with you as a thought process, that you have to understand this when you go in. Now, you could do corporate, blend it out, hide it, whatever. Oh, I don't want to bring that bad news where I expose the inefficiencies of the current operations. Well, those inefficiencies are preventing you from delivering it. It reminds me of a system engineer years ago that I worked with, and he was bragging about how he wasn't doing any agile, any process. He had nothing. And, you can't, dude, at some point I'll turn on you and I'll just straighten you out right then and there. I'm a coach, and I'll tell you the truth. I turned on him and says, yeah, and you're late. You're over budget. We're about to lay off a bunch of people as a repercussion for you being late in this big organization. You're stealing money from all the other things because you don't have a system, right? I just put him in his place. I was like, don't come at me and tell me your system's better. Your system's going to destroy the rest of the organization because you're not delivering. You're not managing your stuff. You don't know. You're just all over the damn place, right? I didn't say that last part. I was thinking in my brain. I saved that. It was in the back of my head. I wanted to tell him that. But I did tell him, I said, yeah, you have no system in place. You are late. You're taking money from the other organizations that are there. I did explain that to him. I said, just because you don't have a system. He just turned around quietly, walked back to his desk, right? Because it was the truth, People want to brag about us, so you're taking everything down because you have no system. You have no organization. I can see it. I'm smart enough. I can see what's going on because I had access to everything they were doing anyhow, because every once in a while I try to help them. And like, I don't need your help. Like, you're late. You're like a year late. I mean, come on, and the way they're operating and managing it was not manageable, just the way it was. So there has to be those boundaries, and that's what Scrum and Agile and the ability to say no, by the way, and prioritize, which I've been working on myself for my businesses and things like that and what I need to do. But that is another thing, these derailments, the ability to say no, putting that caveat, we have this boundary. When do we make it? We have to make decisions. It's tough to make those decisions. It ain't easy, but in the long run, will your job be easier? Will you have more fun? Will you be delivering? Yes. It just takes a little while to get there. You spent years building up that system that's not delivering on time, or causing a lot of angst and working the last minute, stuff like that, because you're not realizing that. I mean, I just given a conversation with my wife about a Girl Scout thing and going on vacation. And she's like, well, and I can still do the Girl Scout thing. I know myself, I couldn't do it. Do the Girl Scout thing and go on vacation the same night, catch an airplane. I'm like, no, you're not going to be able to do it all. You might as well go ahead and tell your partner you can't do it now, because I don't know why you're even imagining that we can do it, right? And this is what Scrum does. This is what Agile thinking does. This is what is going to be a priority. Are you really have the capacity to do that? And the answer is no. And it's hard to say no, but you give them no with when it's coming, right? No, we won't be able to do it, but I'll be doing it next week, or I'll be doing it the next time, and things like that. So I just want to offer that to you because it was a great conversation. I wanted to share that what they said. Oh, but it'll get better when we have the perfect project and we have the backlog cleared out. Well, we still got that backlog we got to fix through, right? It'll take a while to get through that backlog. So the perfect time is now. The perfect time is not the future to implement Scrum or Agile. Perfect time is like, call me. Let's see what you got. I'll give you the truth. Maybe you want sugarcoating consultants. You spend hundreds of millions of dollars, we'll make it easy for you. I'm like, nothing's easy to do it. I mean, it would be nice. It's hard. It's easy to implement and it'll expose the things. Then you got to work through that and stuff like that. But anyway, I want to share that with you. Scrum exposes life as it is that you currently have and why you're not meeting your deadlines, why you're not delivering, why you're not meeting your promises, why you're working until 8 o'clock at night, why you're working on weekends. It exposes that because we're not planning for those short-term things and what we can and can't really do, and we're not able to say no. That's a quick summary. But as we go through these shows, if you look at some of the stuff, we're at our 1,001st episode. There are so many nuances to Agile and Scrum. I could do this forever. I probably will. I enjoy it. But just think about that. Anyway, with that, I want to add, if you want to join our Slack channel, I'm going to play this Slack channel little video here. It's an Agile community, but again, it's what you put in is what you get out, right? And that's one of the things I'm going around to people on the Slack channel because they're inactive, they're not contributing, but yet they want to elevate their game to be an Agile coach, to be a speaker, to this. It says, in order to get that game, you have to make that part of your habit every day. So when the opportunity does come, you can take advantage of it. You can't just turn it on, turn it off. It's not going to be there. You need to get into that rhythm. And that's another thing that Scrum does. Get you into a rhythm so that when the opportunity does come to take advantage of that sales, the new capability, whatever it is, that you can. So with that, let's start the video. And hey, welcome. Thank you very much from the 5 a.m. Mester Scrum Show for all your support and activities and contributing to our program. We are starting to offer this Agile Slack channel where Agile people can come together, talk about different aspects. I just wanted to share some of the things we have: podcasts, masterminding, conferences, job interviews, questions. We do introduction, we do motivation, we talk about Kanban, product owner, QA testing, retrospective, a little bit of everything, celebrating your wins and your Agile practices, things that energize you, sharing different things, different programs. And we wanted to bring this because a lot of these social media engines, it's all based on algorithm and not necessarily what you're interested in this way. And this Slack program that you can comment, contribute, and watch and learn from others in the Agile group at your pace at when you want to do. If you're interested, please send me a message. Connect at 5 a.m. Mester Scrum. Or you can go on our website. We have a blog post on how to join our Slack channel. I just want to have a 30-minute conversation, make sure this works for you, because we want people that are active, that are going to come in maybe once a week or every day if you like, but not like once every 6 months. We want to make sure people are active and engaged, and this is beneficial for them and us and everyone in the community. It's $10 a month or $100 for the year. It's not very expensive. It's kind of like going to the gym, working out, but at a pace that's affordable for most people and enough to support the program. So send me a message if you think you're interested, and we hope you do join us. Take care. Bye. So that's the Slack program. You're more than welcome to join us. And I want to wish you a great day. Happy Scrumming. And have some fun out there. I admit the kids drive me nuts, but it is fun watching them play. Get taking advantage of that. And we'll talk more about that at the end of the day. Meeting your goals. All right. Take care. Have fun. See you. Hopefully I'll do the show tonight with the jobs. Knock on wood. I keep saying that. Bye. See ya.